Hi, and welcome to a new video by Happy Place Creations. Today I have some Christmas molds, and these are the reindeer. There are 3 different molds, and 6 different reindeer, so I thought we would use the Let's Resin holographic glitter. There are 6 different ones. Sorry for my camera not focusing right today. And one is aqua blue. We have gold. We have black. We have purple. And we have silver. And we have pink. So I'm going to do each reindeer in a different one to show you each one of these holographic glitters. I thought that would be good. A nice change. And we get to do a Christmas theme. So I hope everyone has their snacks and have gone to the restroom, because we're going to get started. First is the pink one. You don't ever want to open up containers over your mold, because what gets caught around the covers could sprinkle into your mold. So let's just move these 2 right out of the way. Make sure my mold is clean. Isn't that a pretty pink? And of course, when you're using holographic glitter, you want to back these in a black, and that will just make them pop right out. You just want to brush it on. You want to get your sides, your edges, and get everything colored nicely. And you want to make sure you don't have fans or anything on, because the holographic glitters are very fine and they will blow. And they will stick very nicely to your molds. So a little bit does go a long way. I like to twist and turn my molds when I'm actually putting the mica powder on the mold itself, so that I can actually see if I'm getting each area and getting a good coverage. Wow, this is a pretty pink. Getting all kinds of colors coming on here. We got the hardest part done. Now for the body. And now I'm going to take it to the side, shake it out, blow it off, and there's our first one. Look at the colors. And that is the pink. Now I'm going to get out my little switching sponge. And clean up my brush. So I can go on to the next color. And just clean this off a little bit. Where I kind of ran over onto the next one. I think we're golden to start for the next one. Like I said, it goes everywhere. I think I'm going to switch to my smaller one for the next one. And we're going to go with, let's go with black on this one. Oh, I haven't opened this one yet. Well, we'll go with it. And where I'm doing it this way, the first thing to hit your mold is what's going to show on the outside. So you want to be careful of mixing these. Of not getting your black on your pink or getting the pink onto the black. Should have let it dry off a little bit before I started. But that'll just help it stick better. There we go. If you have a mold where you're having trouble getting the mica powder to stick to it, you can mix your mica powder with just a little bit of alcohol and then put it on your mold, because the alcohol will dissolve, will go away. Brain part here, people. It will go away, but it will leave the powder behind wherever you painted. And that will help it to stick to your mold. This is a brand new mold, so I'm not having trouble having it sticking. But as you use your molds over and over, it will eventually use its stickiness. Sorry about the quiet. I'm concentrating. Sometimes it can be hard to get into these small spots and get everything covered. The black seems to be more coarse than the others. Excuse me. So it seems to be taking more of a work to get it to stick. Or it could just be that this part is still kind of damp from when I just wiped it with a baby wipe. And we are getting up to the top. Almost up to the antlers. But we are getting there. And then we will have one mold done. And for the sake of the length of the video, I am going to continue, but off camera, and I will do the other 4. And then I will come back when it's done. They're done and ready for the resin. As I'm going to be doing the other ones exactly the same as I am right now. So there's no need to put you through watching me do this for another 20 minutes or so just to do the other ones. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I will go on to do the other 2 molds off camera, and I will be back to show you them before we pour the resin. I got a lot of extra laying around in here. Bring them right up into the antlers so I'm not wasting powder. And we have it there. I'm just going to take it over to the side and blow her off, shake it off. And then we have our 2. Pink really glamours colors, but I don't see too much of it. Oh, I do see it now in the black. I'm not sure if you can in the camera though. But there is the first 2. And now I'm going to finish these two molds off camera, and then I will be back and show them to you before we do the resin. I will see you in a blink. Alrighty, I got them all covered now. This is the purple. And this is the blue. Look at them shine. As you saw before I left, this is the pink and the black. And this is the gold and the silver. Now they're all covered. Now they're just waiting for the resin. So I'm just going to go mix up the resin, and then we will be back. Also wanted to tell you, when I got these molds, they actually came with chains so that we could hook them up, because each one of them has their own little holder. Now, we can either use them as holders, or we could grind that off and use these in a nativity display. And I haven't decided. It depends on how good they look. So, let me get the resin and let's get them poured. And once they have cured, we'll take a look at them, and then we will go from there. So I will be back in a blink. Well, guys, I am back. I have mixed up our black resin, and I am ready to fill our reindeer. And what I'm going to use is a pipette. In the hopes that it's going to help me not spill everywhere. I think I may have not let it fill up enough. That's why I have two going. While one's filling up, I'm emptying the other. Just get a little bit in the antlers, just to get it started. And then once we fill up the body and connect it all, then it will self-level. I think I just emptied my pipette. Why I'm doing this is I don't want to scratch the powder that I spent all that time putting it down. That's why I'm using the pipette. So I could try to avoid things like that. But it looks like that's not going to work. That was a good thought, though. Thought while it lasted. I think I'm making more of a mess than I am anything else. So we go back to plan B. Let's do this one first. And then just lightly touch the surface and guide the resin in where you want it to go without trying to touch the bottom. Actually, I probably could use the top part better. And give it a few minutes to self-level and see if you need to put in any more. Make sure you've got all the antlers where they need to be. I'm all up in them. Let's keep going. Just want to make sure you don't pour over, though, over the sides. Give that a chance to do its thing. See if it's going to make it down into the legs, and meanwhile, help it up here. Guide it through. Slowly keep pulling it through. And then when it stops flowing, you can add a little bit more in that area. And that one is leveled out nicely. We're going to give that one a few more minutes. This one could use some more. We'll let that level. But see, once you get it in all the areas, the resin will self-level itself out because it will go into all the little nooks and crannies. If it don't, then we just come back and help it. Well, see, the antlers aren't quite getting enough, so we just kind of help it get up there and push it over the little. There we go. Make sure those antlers get quite a bit in them because they're going to be awful thin. So we want to make sure that they get enough resin in them. So they won't be brittle, real brittle, I mean. That looks good. Now this one could use a little bit more as well. That one's starting to fill up nicely. You'll probably notice some mica powders floating to the surfaces. That does happen. That's just extra mica powder that didn't either get blown off or it didn't get blown off or didn't get rubbed off. That happens. And them antlers need some more again. This little bugger takes a lot. Well, we gotta start putting some in these ones before it starts getting too warm. Right here, I'm going to start this one. You see right here where I put it on the hump? Just brush it right off. Spread it and get it going in the right direction without touching the bottom. And then come back and fill her up. And it will start spreading on its own. If not, then we help it along. Let's get back to this one for right now. And should you go over like I did, don't panic. Just give it a minute to go down. It's not running all over the place. It's okay. Okay. Whoops. See, boo-boos happen. Just clean up and move on. All I'm doing is wiping off a little excess, I should say, so that we can see the in-between each piece. There we go. like so. Plus it will be less cleanup when we pull it out. I don't have to do this now. I could very well wait until it's done. But for me, it's easier to clean it up right now than it is to wait and have to sand it and all that. So this little girl right here, or little boy, I don't know what the color is anymore, black. So that one is done. You see these little spots right here? Those will just break right off because they're very thin. If there were a big piece covering one of these, then we'd have a problem. But these are very small when you don't put your tool in it. Very easy cleanup. This one looks really good. That's a little too high right there. Those are all look good. Could be just the pink. So I'm just going to take that little bit off there. That's where the hook is. But I would rather have that stronger and have to drill a hole in it myself than to keep taking the resin out and have a weak hanger. And there we go. Oh, I did it again. I need to stop fidgeting. And I will find something to do with the rest of this before it turns too warm on me. Meanwhile, I am going to move these over to the heat mat. After I spray them with some alcohol and get rid of the bubbles. And I will be back when they're cured. It's the next day. These are ready. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you yesterday. I'm still cleaning up my shop to try to make a new camera area. But let's get unmolding. I had enough extras yesterday that we can make a little candle holder. And I like to just roll these kind of round ones. Just roll them up and then twist. And there we go. We have our nice little candle holder. It's a little tea light holder. Sorry, I should have got a tea light holder or tea light for the demonstration, and I didn't. I am so sorry. But there we go. Now let's get to our reindeer. And I believe this is the pink one. You want to be very careful around the antlers. Just want to slowly pull it out. And there is our pink one. Look at the holographics on that. I am not sure if you can see it, Isn't that beautiful? And that is our pink one. And this one is our black one. I'm going to start at the antlers first. There we go. Just take your time. There's no rush. These are very thin. They don't look it, but they are an ornament. And there is the black one. And there are some, let's see if I can show you. See the overflow where I overflew it? And like I was saying yesterday, you can just pop them right off. And then you'll have a nice smooth little, let me get that mold out of the way. Then you'll have a nice smooth little surface. I have these little micro brushes that just reaches right in there. You can also use them for slight sanding. And that's just taking that, let me get that out of my fingers. And these little micro brush things are awesome. And there we have it. Our second reindeer. Let's go to our blue one. I like blue. Let's go back to this. So that's a flat end on it. And again, you want to be just careful around the antlers. These are an ornament. There we go. And again, we have the little, oh, I'm sorry. Look at that. And we just want to go around the edges and clean up the little overflow. Pour overs, I should say. Which you saw me do yesterday. While I was scraping the little sides and stuff. That's what I was trying to prevent, but it didn't happen. But isn't that beautiful? And now we will go to the purple one. Run along the edges, and that'll get rid of those for the bigger areas. You can just use your fingers. It'll come right off. Now, let's see the purple one. Isn't that pretty? Now, to the silver and the gold. These are very pretty Alrighty. I can fuss later. There is the silver one. Look at that shine. And now the gold. This stems from the fact that I like to fill my molds right to its breaking point. Because when resin cures, it shrinks. And I don't want to have like a gap, like a shrink in the back of these. I filled them so that they would come out flat. There we go. And here is the gold one. Now, aren't those absolutely beautiful? And these are the Let's Resin holographic glitters. This is just my opinion. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting any free items by it saying this. But this is just my opinion. This is awesome stuff. So if you have a chance to get it, grab it. It's out of stock a lot because it's so popular. But this is the holographic from Let's Resin. Aren't those dear beautiful? And those would look very nice hanging on someone's tree. Now I just want to point out a couple things. I've noticed on the blue one. See this little patch right here? That stems from not from the mold, but because of the way I use the paintbrush. Got to be very careful when you're coloring your molds that you don't get blemishes like this. You want to stay even. Obviously, I didn't. But that will happen when you're using a powder, any type of mica powder, or glitter, or anything. If you rub one spot more than another, you're just rubbing off some. So you just want to be careful, that's all. Well, I thank you for joining me today. I hope everyone is happy and healthy. I hope your crafts turn out amazing. Please check out my eBay store. I've linked in the description. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video.